Hey y'all,
Hey.
this is Keith and Melinda, and we are on our third day of our trip across the country from Nashville, Tennessee to Santa Monica on our Route 66 road trip. And we wanted to give you an update on what's happening. We just got back in from the pool. We spent a little bit of time at the pool before we came in, but just give you an update on how the trip is going and things that are happening and what's going to be happening tomorrow and the rest of the day. So today is day 3. The first day we spent in Arkansas, in the Little Rock, Arkansas area, where we were able to meet with the, and just a reminder, this is a historic Route 66 trip for us on the side of the Black Americans who struggled to travel freely on Route 66. So we are going to be touching on some historic events as we go about our travels. Our first stop from Nashville, we're leaving from Nashville and we're picking Route 66 up in Tulsa. So along the way, we decided to stop in Arkansas and do a little bit of Black history culture there. And our first stop was in Early, Arkansas, where we met with the youngest Black mayor ever elected in the United States. He's the Honorable Jalen Smith, and he won his election at just 18 years old. And we were able to get pictures and talk with him for a little bit and just let him know that he's got friends in Tennessee and how proud we were of him. So one of the accomplishments that he had wanted to do, he comes from a really rural area, and one of his campaign goals was to bring a grocery store into the town because there hadn't been one in several years and people had to travel 15 to 20 miles to go grocery shopping. So we learned that he did do that, so I consider that a huge success for the young man. So meeting with the Honorable Jalen Smith in Early, Arkansas was our first stop, and it was probably going to be one of my most meaningful ones, only because he is so young. The second stop was to Jones's Barbecue, which is the oldest Black-owned restaurant in the United States. And we had just missed him because he doesn't have set hours. His hours are from 7 a.m. till he runs out. And on his menu is only barbecue sandwiches with or without slaw, and that's it. So we just missed it. We got there at 15 afternoon, and he was already sold out. He was gone. But the nice young man who was working in the back with the getting things ready for the next day, he was just so sweet. He said, "You can go on upstairs. He lives upstairs. You can meet him if you want to talk with him." But I didn't want to bother him because I know how it is after working a hard day. So we're hoping to be able to catch him on the way back. So we'll try that. And then we were able to visit Little Rock Central High School, which was the site where the Little Rock, they call it the Little Rock 9, where 9 children made their mark on this country by bucking the system and desegregating schools. And I learned that they were actually the first, that was actually the first school after Brown versus Board of Education that actually implemented, because apparently Brown versus Board of Education was in 1954, and that said that it is inherently wrong for Black children and white children to be separated solely based on their race, and that Black children should be able to go to white schools and vice versa. So they ended segregation. But it was taking a little bit of time. So that was in 1954. So in 1957, Miss Daisy Bates, who was a journalist, and the chapter, Little Rock chapter NAACP president said, "This is taking too long. We're going to have to, get things going." So she selected 9 students based on their good grades and things like that to be the first to do this historic event. So we were able to visit that historic site and also learn that it's the only functioning school that's been declared national historic site that is still functioning as a school. So you weren't able to go in the school because they had summer school and there were kids in there. learning. But we were able to tour the grounds and do a tour of the museum they have there and the historic. So we'll be uploading all those pictures. I don't know, sometime, maybe it might be when we get back, because we're on a 14-day trip. So, and sometimes it feels like work. I know that we want to make sure that we are able to inform people, especially those who aren't able to travel anymore, who's interested in history, just so they can have some information. But that's okay. We're good with that, and we want to help spread that knowledge. So after that, we arrived in Tulsa, Oklahoma yesterday, and we got started immediately because there's so much that we would like to see, but we're in such a short amount of time because we both still work, and we only have 2 weeks of vacation, so we wanted to spend this 2 weeks going out to Santa Monica and coming back and learning as much Black history as we can. So today, we're in Tulsa for 2 days. So yesterday we got here and we did the little touristy stuff. We went up to see the blue whale of Tulsa, and we learned about the blue whale, and we'll be posting pictures about that. But the blue whale is a big structure that was built by a man who owned an animal park, and he built it as a gift for his wife because they didn't want to deal with animals anymore because it was getting dangerous. And there was a life-size replica of Noah's Ark that's dilapidated because it's been shut down for a long time. But they kept the blue whale as a tourist attraction, so we were able to visit that. And I'm going to look at my list because we did so much yesterday. And then we went out to the Route 66 Historical Village where we took lots of pictures, and it had an old gas station there, and it had oil wells and trains and things like that. So it was very interesting to see. And then we went and visited the Buck's Cosmic Curios. It was the big giant rocket man. And so we were able to take pictures there. It was a nice photo op there. And then we were able to bike the Arkansas River and just jump in anytime you want to. I always feel like I dominate the conversations, but jump in anytime.
I'm good. Doing great.
So we were able to, it's a 25-mile park total, and we were able, I don't know, maybe 10 miles. What do you think? We did about 10 miles on our bikes. We have electric bikes, and we were able to tour the park. It was beautiful. We hope to be able to do a sunset picnic there because apparently that's supposed to be the most romantic, beautiful sunsets. It was going to be a lot longer until sunset, so we didn't want to hang around, so we plan on doing that tonight. Sunset's at 8:45 p.m. and we plan on going ahead and doing our romantic sunset picnic. So we want to do a historical event, we want to do bike riding, we want to do hiking, and something romantic in each of the parts of states that we visit. And so that's what we did yesterday. And today what we did was we went to visit the Black Wall Street History Center. And I tell you what, it was so amazing to learn about the history of the 1921 Tulsa massacre, where, Tulsa was segregated back then. There was a white Tulsa and there was a black Tulsa. Black Tulsa was very thriving. It was a rich community. People came up here to get rich in oil, so that's what happened. So the black people, they owned their own airplanes, they owned their own barber shops, they had their own dressmakers, they had their own grocery stores, everything. They were a very thriving business. And there's history there, and there's going to be a warning when you see the pictures. There's going to be a lot of triggers. So if you're triggered easily about race issues, then you probably don't want to see that part. But it was very, very, very moving. And just to learn and hear accounts from people who actually lived there, who were interviewed earlier about how they had to run from terrorists who were shooting, and the sound of bullets going past their ears sounded like bees buzzing. And they thought black birds were falling from the sky, but it's actually bullet casings. So it was such a moving, that was so far. Meeting the black mayor and this has been my favorite part of the trip. Nice. And then we were able to, so we'll put more information about that later on, but we just want to touch on what we've done so far right now. And then we were able to just walk through the streets of Black Wall Street and photograph a lot of history there. The oldest black church is still is there, so we were able to photograph that. There was a couple of homes that were standing that we were able to take pictures of that are now historical centers. And then we were able to take pictures of there was a little spot on Main Street that still had the actual bricks from the night that Tulsa was burnt down, and you can still smell the smoke and the fire on there, and that also was very moving. So we took tons of pictures of that. So we'll be uploading those, and then so there's gonna be I'm thinking maybe 200 pictures that I'm going to upload dealing with that, and Keith took a lot of videos, so look out, be on the watch for those. And also what we did today, we went and had lunch at Tally's, that's on Route 66, the main drag. And what Tally's is, and that food was delicious, as our First Lady would say, delicious. So we'll upload pictures from that too, but it was taken over by a person who bought it from Mary and Mark, someone named Mary and Mark. That was the original structure, and he's just kept up the looks of it. But the food was so good. I had a cheeseburger and onion rings, so they're real famous for the onion rings. And Deke had their catfish and stuff like that. And we had peach cobbler and ice cream, so it was really good homemade food. So that's what we did today. And then we went to the pool for a little while here at the hotel. And I'm going to give a video at some point that talks about traveling on a budget at these hotels, because I'm the queen of finding hotel budgets, good hotel rates. I won't say cheap hotels, but good. This is one of the hotels that we're staying at. The people are real nice to let us use their breakfast area, but they're always really nice hotels. So tonight we're going back to River Park after the sun goes down. It was 110 degrees here today. It's very hot, super hot, and we were at the pool. So now we're going to go and get things ready, because we're going to leave tomorrow on our next leg. We're going to be going to Amarillo, Texas, but tonight we will be going back to the River Park and having our sunset picnic. We found the perfect spot yesterday on a little hill. So we went to the store today and got our little stuff for our charcuterie board, and we got all fruits and meats and cheese. So we just have a little nice spread out there and watch the sunset. And then tomorrow get up and go head to Amarillo, where we will be. Let me look at my notes. I got my notes here, things that we're going to be doing. On the way out, we're going to visit the Threets filling station, and I've given a talk about that. It's a black-owned filling station that was on Route 66 at the time, where a lot of people felt where people were safe to go visit or to stop there along the route if they got caught, because some of the research I said 80% of the towns on Route 66 at that time were sundown towns. And sundown towns meant that if you were a person of color, black, Hispanic, any other race other than white, you had to be out of that town before the sun went down. And I mean, if you visit this cultural center, it will really open your eyes to the way things were, and hear the accounts of the people who actually lived back then. There's nothing that we could do to give you the full depth of how things were back then. But Mr. Threet, he owned a gas station, and it was just known to be a safe place for anybody to come and stay. He didn't care what color you were, black, white, Hispanic, whatever. You were free to come there and rest if you needed a rest. You could park your camper or car out back and sleep there if you needed to. He didn't charge anything. So we are very excited to visit that on our way out of Oklahoma tomorrow. And then we'll enter Amarillo, where we will be visiting the Cadillac Ranch, and that's where 10 Cadillacs are buried in the ground, and we'll be able to leave our mark there. And we're going to be hiking the Paladuro Canyons State Park, and hopefully be able to hike all the way up to where they have a structure called the Lighthouse. It's a rock formation, and it's very hard to climb. So we learned that part of it you can do on a bike. So we're gonna be able to take our bikes up, and there's bike racks there, and then we'll be able to hike up the rest of the way. So that's our goal for tomorrow, to do that. And then we have dinner reservations at the Big Texas Steak Ranch and Brewery, where that's the home of the 72 ounce
72 ounce
steak. If you can eat that with all the sides in 1 hour, you'll get your dinner for free. We're not going to do that, but we're going to be able to visit there and have a good steak dinner. I'm happy about that. And then visit the Black Historical Center there, and what that is a hospital that was founded by a black doctor, Dr. Wyatt, who wasn't able to practice medicine in the white hospital. So he just created his own hospital for black people and Hispanics, because Hispanics weren't allowed to go into the white hospitals either, from the research that we're seeing, and from the Black Cultural Center. So he created this hospital. And again, it didn't matter if you were black, Hispanic, white, he helped everybody. So he wasn't exclusive of anybody. So there's a historical center, and I'll have to figure out whether that's the actual hospital or just a center that was developed after that, or in the spot. But there is the actual nurses' home where the nurses lived when they did their shifts. That's still standing, and it's like a museum. So we'll be able to hopefully get to visit that tomorrow. And then we'll be going, I think that we'll be doing this on the way to Albuquerque the next day. There's the midpoint. So it's the midpoint between Chicago and Santa Monica. There's actually a line that says midpoint. There's a Midpoint Cafe. And so we're going to be stopping there and doing some photo ops and eating at the cafe on the way out. So it's going to start rolling pretty quickly. So tomorrow we'll get up and leave for Amarillo, do our stuff there, and then the next day we'll be in Albuquerque. So we'll try to do these as we can. But there it is. The first 3 days, we've already done so much, and we're so excited. We have so much energy.
Oh yeah.
And we're looking forward to continuing on and sharing our stories with all of you who would like to visit, or who's not able to get to visit, or get out like you want to, or travel like you want to. We hope to be able to bring some of this back home to you. So, Dee, again, is there anything you would like to say? I always tend to take over.
No, you know a lot, and I have researched a lot. Really appreciative of all the information that you've given. It's not only for us, but it's for all the viewers.
Everybody.
And everybody who don't have insight on the information about our culture and history itself.
Yeah.
So,
one thing I've seen when I go to these places is mostly non-black people who are there. I know we travel and we do things, but I would like to see more. But it's probably 90% other cultures and 10% us. So I don't know why that is, but it's something that I've noticed throughout our whole almost 10 years of being married, and all the places that we've been, that these historical sites that are mainly dealing with black history, it's always, and people are so moved by the documents that they read and the exhibits that are there. So that's always such a good thing to see, and I'm always so happy about that. And I would like to see more of us to travel more. Maybe we're just traveling on wrong days or something. But that's something that I've noticed, that the world has changed so much from then, and it's changing in the positive. I know a lot of people will say no, it's not, but I believe in my heart that it is. And I'm happy for that. All we can do is just live for ourselves and live for the day, and help people when we can, and be kind and be nice and be an inspiration to other people. So with that, we're gonna wrap things up and go pack up a little bit and get ready for our romantic picnic. Are you excited about our romantic picnic?
of course.
Yeah. We're gonna go get ready for that. And we will talk to you next time.
Bye.
See you later.